Recent reports from multiple media sources suggest that China's military is building a massive command complex just west of Beijing. This enormous facility is set to become the world's largest wartime command center, nearly 10 times the size of the Pentagon. U.S. intelligence assessments indicate that in addition to advanced command and control capabilities, the site features deep underground bunkers designed to withstand nuclear blasts and protect top CCP officials in the event of war. Satellite images obtained by the Financial Times reveal a massive construction site about 30 kilometers southwest of Beijing, spanning 1,500 acres, roughly 6 square kilometers. Major construction work kicked off in mid-2024. Rennie Babiars, a former imagery analyst at the U.S. National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, says that more than 100 cranes are working on underground military infrastructure. Judging by the construction features, this is likely a highly sensitive military site, with massive reinforced concrete structures, deep underground tunnels, and fortified bunkers. Former CIA China analyst Dennis Wilder said, "If this new underground command center is real, it's more than just a defensive facility. It's a clear sign that Beijing is ramping up efforts to build a world-class military and strengthen its nuclear warfare capabilities." The site is on high alert and completely sealed off. While large-scale construction is still in progress, the secrecy surrounding it goes far beyond that of a typical commercial project. Several unusual details stand out. No official information is available, and there are no online records of any commercial development. Unlike most construction sites, there are no display areas or promotional signs. Warning signs strictly prohibit drones and photography around the area. Security guards tightly control the entrance, keeping the public out. Access roads leading to the back of the site are completely blocked off. A local shop owner called the site a military zone, saying that residents were cleared out long ago and that only those with special permits can get close. On Chinese social media, people have been asking, why were so many houses demolished in the Qinglong Lake area? One user even posted on Baidu wondering, are they building China's version of the Pentagon at Qinglong Lake? Right now, the CCP's main military command center is in Beijing's Xishan area, but it's a Cold War-era facility that's now outdated. One of the PLA's biggest weaknesses is its lack of joint force coordination. This new facility is expected to replace the Xishan Command Center as the primary wartime hub, an effort to fix that shortcoming and withstand threats like bunker-buster bombs and nuclear strikes. Reports suggest that Xi Jinping has ordered the PLA to be ready for a Taiwan invasion by 2027. The new command center would strengthen the PLA's wartime command and response as it rapidly expands its nuclear arsenal and sharpens its cyber, nuclear, and joint force warfare capabilities. China's embassy in Washington dismissed the reports, saying they have no details on the matter. But the secrecy surrounding this mysterious military project has raised serious international concerns. What's the real purpose of this massive military facility, 10 times the size of the Pentagon? Could this mysterious base be tied to Xi Jinping's ultimate goal, a potential invasion of Taiwan by 2027? In recent years, the CCP has ramped up its military pressure on Taiwan, and 2027 keeps coming up as a critical deadline. Why 2027? Because it marks the 100th anniversary of the People's Liberation Army, a key milestone in its military modernization. Xi Jinping may be pushing to gain a military edge over Taiwan before this symbolic year, securing his political legacy. In recent years, the PLA has ramped up drills in the Taiwan Strait, simulating blockades, amphibious landings, and airstrikes as part of full-scale war exercises. At the same time, China has strengthened joint drills and deepened military ties with Russia and North Korea, forging an alliance to counter the US and Japan, laying the groundwork for a potential invasion of Taiwan. Moreover, the US military is adjusting its strategic deployments. The US armed forces have recognized China's ambitions and are rapidly increasing their presence in the Indo-Pacific. meaning that before 2027, China might have its final military window of opportunity. Inside China, economic and political pressures are mounting. The economy is slowing, unemployment is rising, the real estate crisis is deepening, and local government debt is soaring. Yet, instead of scaling back infrastructure projects, Xi Jinping has doubled down on military expansion. Many believe that he may be preparing for an external conflict to deflect attention from domestic troubles, fueling nationalist fervor to tighten his grip on power. Since Xi Jinping took power in 2012, he has driven what many call an infrastructure frenzy across China. His leadership has been marked by grand high-profile projects, from high-speed rail and highways to the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, artificial islands in the South China Sea, and the Belt and Road Initiative. But now, his so-called Millennium Project, Xiong a New Area, is facing a major crisis. In 2017, Xi personally unveiled Xiong'an, branding it a Millennium Project and touting it as China's city of the future. The plan was to relieve Beijing of non-capital functions and transform the area into a modern smart city. But almost 8 years later, the reality is far from the vision. Xiong'an now struggles with low population, a hollow industrial base, and mounting financial stress. On Chinese state media, locals sound hopeful about the future. We've moved from the countryside to the city, and life is only going to get better. Honestly, I can't even imagine how good it'll be.
Xiong'an is full of parks now, and our schools have better facilities and teachers than ever.
But when reporters actually talked to the locals, they heard a very different story.
Look at Shijie Elementary. It only takes in kids from families that moved here from Beijing. Meanwhile, our kids are still stuck in the same old county school. How is that fair? Beijing said they'd move 4.2 million people here, but we're still waiting. It hasn't helped us at all. In fact, we're just getting poorer.
We've always lived here, and honestly, nothing's changed for us except prices keep going up. Even though state-owned enterprises, universities, and research institutions were ordered to move, most never actually did. Instead, they just set up empty offices with almost no real economic activity. This city was supposed to be home to 5 million people, but now it's nearly deserted. The buildings are there, but the people aren't. The roads are built, but there's no life. Just another ghost town. We took the high-speed rail from Beijing to Xiong'an. This station is said to be the largest in Asia, but you can see that the entire right side is unused. Lights are off. The left side is open, but barely anyone is here, and even the digital displays are turned off. Building Xiong'an has been insanely expensive, almost entirely bankrolled by the government, but local finances are already overstretched, and the debt just keeps piling up. Some projects have even come to a standstill. Xiong'an's failure isn't just about bad economics. It's a glaring example of how Xi Jinping's top-down, command-style decision-making is backfiring. Instead of following market logic, everything was forced through political orders, leading to wasted resources and half-finished projects, with no real investment returns and no serious private investors wanting in. This whole model is simply unsustainable. Xi Jinping's obsession with massive infrastructure projects is going off the rails. The economy is slowing, public confidence is tanking, and development is hitting a wall. Instead of cutting back, he's doubling down on military expansion. China's military still has major weaknesses, like weak amphibious assault capabilities and no real combat experience, but that may not stop Xi. Politically, he looks ready to risk it all. He's turning China's domestic troubles outward, using a Taiwan conflict to distract the public and tighten his grip on power. Throughout history, dictators facing economic crises and internal turmoil have often turned to war as a way to shift attention, but modern warfare comes at an enormous cost. If the CCP goes to war over Taiwan, the global economy will take a massive hit, and China itself will face full-scale economic sanctions, wiping out 4 decades of economic progress from its reform and opening up. But for Xi Jinping, Staying in power matters more than the economy or the suffering of his people. The economy may crumble, lives may be destroyed, but for a dictator, nothing matters more than clinging to power.